Kids like vegetables. Many people just suck at cooking them. Many people, no idea if it's most, haven't conducted a survey, have parents that overcook vegetables or don't bother seasoning them. Possibly because that's how they were raised, too. It's no wonder many kids hate those kind of vegetables, while adults can at least somehow munch down that over-steamed broccoli, or that salad that is either dry or drenched in greasy dressing, or those watery, wobbly tomatoes, falsely believing that it's somehow what you gotta do as an adult. Kids don't give a shit and will just flat out refuse it. That is then ascribed to kids not liking vegetables or kids only liking greasy/sugary food. That's a big pile of BS. While some tastes are certainly developed over the years, you can get children to like all sorts of vegetables by cooking them right. So instead of letting that broccoli cook for 20 minutes with no salt, how about you let it roast in the oven with some salt, paprika, and olive oil? Growing up I was a picky eater, and as I got older and moved out I realized that my mom can't cook for shit, and things I hated are actually amazing when prepared properly. One example of this was during a family gathering at my aunt's, mom's sister, house. My aunt made lasagna which I really disliked, but I was hungry so I started picking away at it with tiny bites. Well, I realized it tasted pretty good, so I finished my plate, and as I went to get another piece I told my mom, in front of the entire family, that she should get this recipe since this is a delicious lasagna. She looked at me and said, "This is my recipe, I gave it to your aunt." Oh yes, my family believes boiled vegetables are healthier since there are no oils. It's no wonder I couldn't stand greens growing up. The four horsemen of overfucking cooking: peas, green beans, peppers, broccoli. FFS, they don't have to be mush, they barely even need to be cooked at all. I cook kids as well. There is a special place reserved in hell for people that overcook broccoli. I have no issue with regular boiled broccoli if it's been boiled for like 5 minutes. It literally only needs 5 minutes max. People that boil it until it's limp and mushy need to be sent to a re-education camp. I was a very picky eater growing up, I still kinda am, but I never realized vegetables could taste good until I met my stepmom, who actually cooks, some of them, right. She still boils her broccoli though. She said she doesn't like roasted broccoli. __. Now I live on my own and I wanna buy asparagus, but it's too expensive. I read this as kids are like vegetables, people just suck at cooking them. And I was like, hold the fuck up, 13 right here, and you're damn right, my mom can cook everything, but she cooks veg 2 ways, boil, or frozen, no sustenance whatsoever on those veg. The worst thing is the veg in her stir fry, pre-packaged. Exactly, any food can be good if it's cooked/prepared right. My mother loves her food bland, which would be fine, except in doing so she's fulfilling stereotypes about Scottish people. My now mother-in-law was amazed when the 4 of us went to dinner while my husband and I were dating, and he ordered something with asparagus as a side, and ate the asparagus. And enjoyed it. She asked me how I got him to eat that. Well, turns out that he had it in a stir-fry at work and liked it, but didn't recognize what it was. He asked me, I told him what it was. We worked together back then. She said that he refused to eat most vegetables as a child. Turns out, he likes most vegetables just fine. He doesn't like them overcooked into a mushy mess, which is what he grew up with. Raw carrot is the greatest snack in the history of the world, especially with the likes of hummus. This is so fucking true. My mum never seasons the vegetables and cooks them way too long. Everything is just soft and mushy. I thought for years that I didn't like vegetables until I decided to learn how to cook properly in my early teens. My mum is okay with veggies, but my older brother studied catering and boy his broccoli's smacked. I feel like many parents actually overdo it with quality. They make those sophisticated meals that likely would taste most adults, but at least for me as a kid this was just too much. I would have more likely eaten a raw, chopped, vegetable than this overwhelming mashup of flavors. Over-steamed broccoli with butter though, clapping hands, light skin tone. I came here just to say that my kid has a thing about food textures. I have a hard time even getting him to eat cookies. Don't worry guys, he's in therapy. He's getting better. Don't judge parents. We're trying. I'm confused why it seems to be so popular for parents to boil vegetables instead of roasting them. Don't the parents know they suck that way? Why do they keep doing it? I mean, this point has been brought up before and most of the comments here are complaining that their parents didn't do anything besides steam/boil, so it must not be for a picky eater's sake. It's mostly the Westerners who suck and making good food out of them. Go to the Asian and East and South Asian countries. You will see a variety of good pure veg food. Absolutely, I was nearly 30 before I figured out my mom was at best a mediocre cook. Anecdotally, this is true. I always hated green beans and spinach specifically as a kid. Turns out I just hate canned green beans and spinach. Now I buy frozen and fresh, and they're actually tasty. I can agree with this, because I work with kids. At my daycare, there was a not so great cook for a while. Kids were not fond of the always overcooked carrots and usually undercooked broccoli. When she left and we got another cook, the new cook made the vegetables at the right texture/cooked them right, and all the kids loved them. I agree, my mom put a lot of effort into making canned vegetables taste good and all 8 of the kids loved veggies growing up. Man, I misread this as asterisk kids are like vegetables. Many people just suck at cooking them. Asterisk. You aren't wrong though, I personally used to max on some good boiled broccoli. The first time I had raw broccoli, my eyes were opened. Eating raw broccoli makes you feel so healthy and powerful. Same thing with carrots. Children are more sensitive to bitter tastes, so some vegetables can taste like, well, literal poison to them. I remember eating green beans as a child was a true struggle. It's kind of sad that this weird culture we have of just shrugging at children hating the food they're given is often born from parents wanting to take it easy on themselves and not consider what their children might like to eat instead of the road of the least resistance. Shit, you might even save yourself some stress when you don't have to physically force the veggies down little Billy's throat every evening. My parents boil the fucking broccoli for 30 minutes, calls me a picky and palateless eater while all I fucking taste is the mashed potatoes texture, no seasoning or anything. Totally agree. My mother oversteamed every vegetable and didn't season. Grew up hating every vegetable and salad. If we were to sauce our dishes we would get in trouble as it disrespected her cooking. Fast forward to moving out of home and reconnecting with my Italian side of the family. That's where I discovered every vegetable is delicious when prepared using these things. Olive oil, salt, vinegar, garlic, and even preserved versions. I cannot have a meal without a salad or vegetables now.